Time now for sports and the law. And 49ers linebacker Ahmad Brooks is being accused of sexual assault by the woman who says she was raped late last year by former 49ers linebacker Ray McDonald, only to be sued by McDonald for defamation. She has now filed a countersuit claiming both McDonald and 49ers linebacker Ahmad Brooks sexually molested her. The woman says she slipped on a wet swimming pool deck and was knocked unconscious, and has video that will show Brooks later groped her person in a sexual manner. No word from Brooks about the allegations as we welcome in CSN Bay Area legal analyst Steve Moskowitz. All right, Steve, Brooks has not been charged criminally. How is this going to affect this civil lawsuit?
Well, a lot of times the criminal is used as a push for the civil, because you see, like with Big Ben, all of a sudden there's a secret settlement and then the witness says, I'm unavailable to testify in the criminal case. Drops. Now, I'm not saying she's going to do this, but that's real common where somebody takes to use the criminal as leverage.
There might be, according to the accuser, there is video, surveillance video. She says there is. If there is, how will this affect the case?
Well, first of all, we have to make sure that it's really showing what happened. But next, wouldn't it have been nice to hold off on the lawsuit until you saw it? I mean, they're saying there's video. Why don't you take a look at it first? So the
lawsuit's premature? You should have waited?
Well, what I would have said first is, hey, you're putting something in evidence. You claim you have evidence. Well, let's see what's there. Let's do some discovery.
Well, so you bring up the timeline. Brooks's allegations come in the woman's countersuit against Ray McDonald. So why now? I mean, why didn't this allegations come earlier?
That's something else that's usually pointed out. In a lot of cases, why did you wait so long? Now, again, I realize this is a he said, she said, I wasn't there, I don't know what happened. But the bottom line is we have to remember something. These players are targets. And remember, the law says you're innocent unless proven guilty. In a civil case, it's the evidence. Who can put up 51, who can only do 49.
All right. Another story this week, Manny Pacquiao is now facing multiple class action lawsuits. Several people who bought tickets to the Pacquiao-Mayweather fight or bought the fight on pay-per-view are suing Pacquiao and his promoters for failing to disclose Pacquiao's shoulder injury before the bout. One of the lawsuits in California states Pacquiao's injury unquestionably, materially, significantly, and negatively affected the quality of the product. That's a mouthful. Steve, you
sound like me.
You watched the fight. You paid for the fight. Are you going to sue Manny Pacquiao?
I'm not, but here's the problem. In full disclosure, I like Manny. I've met him in person. But I was really disappointed from the time he walked up in his undershirt and the look on his face. And the problem is, if his shoulder was really 60% down and he covered that up, the people didn't get what they paid for. Not the fans, not the bettors. And I'm just wondering, again, I have no personal knowledge here, was somebody thinking about, hey, this would be a way to get a rematch? But the bottom line is, this was wrong. As much as I like Manny, I'm sorry, you did really wrong here.
So it's wrong, but did the plaintiffs have a case? Could they really sue him?
Yes, because what's happened is it was false advertising. If you go up buy a sack of 100 pounds of apples and you pay the full price, and then you find out there's only 60% in the apples, you're going to say, hey, you cheated me, aren't you? Well, that's what happened here.
But you're buying a fight, Steve. Are you buying a fair fight, or are you just buying a fight?
Well, what's supposed to be, that's why they have all these rules. Elbows, hands, shoulders, the whole works. If he had checked off that he was 60% down, they wouldn't have had that fight. So the problem is, did he lie? Because he said no, and after the fight he says, oh, 60%. I'm sorry, Manny, I'm sorry, but, you know, he defrauded the public.
Could be implications for gambling, too, right?
Oh, big time. That would really change the book.
All right, another story this week. The Ted Wells investigation into the so-called Deflategate scandal has been released, and the report states that the NFL found that its probable New England Patriots personnel deliberately deflated footballs during the AFC Championship game. I ask you, and they say Tom Brady may or may not have known. They did an extensive study to say he might know something. I mean, I think they maybe should have found something else out. We only have 25 seconds left. Does Brady have a case saying they're defaming his character?
Absolutely, because right now there are allegations, and sometimes these reports aren't objective. They're looking at the private proof of point. I know there's a circumstantial, but what did he know? We don't know. They're burying his name in the mud. This is not the time for it. This is not the way to do it.
He's been the face of the NFL. He's had a crystal clear image. They can't just destroy it.
Indeed, and maybe the ball boy was a super fan. Maybe it had nothing to do with it.
Thank you, Steve.
Always a pleasure.
Thanks for watching Yahoo Sports Talk Live. Sportsnet Central, KJ and Ahmed are up next. Enjoy.